Hi, Math 1 students. We are looking at the Mod 9 formative, the Mod 9 formative on the very last two pages, pages 5 and 6. Taking a look at a new proficiency, look at the top 2B 9.2, that you can interpret correlation, both strength and direction. So for number 10, we are given some information. We've got the average monthly temperature. Over here in Y, we've got the monthly heating cost. And I hope you can see that, even as the line is drawn in there, you can see as we move left to right in the X direction, you can see that this line is coming down and our data points is going down. So we have negative association. Negative association, however, we're always going to reference our X measurement first, getting bigger, increasing. And as X increases, your Y will decrease. So, of course, we have negative association. It is not going to be A, B, or D. So we know it's either C or E. Looking at this, I hope you can see that E is really what is happening. As X, the average monthly temperature, increases, the Y quantity, the monthly heating cost, decreases. Obviously, we can also, as we saw in earlier videos, if we had a slope, we'd interpret this sentence much the same way, just saying that average monthly temperature increases by something and the monthly heating cost decreases by something. We use slope to help us. As we're looking at number 11, we need to make some sense about strength. And just helping you out in terms of, the strength, if we were to go on a scale here, where 1 is over here, negative 1 is over there. From 0.9 to 1, we say is very strong. Likewise, from negative 0.9 to negative 1 also is very strong. From 0.5 to 0.9 is moderately strong. And likewise over here we can say that from negative 0.9 to negative 0.5 is moderately strong. And then between 0 and 0.5, that's considered weak correlation. And over here is weak as well. So, when we're looking at our R value of negative 0.806, guys, I hope you can see just looking at that number line, negative 0.86 would be about right there. You're not quite at negative 0.9, so you're moderately strong. And that's all you need to write for that. But because R is negative, this is going to be a negative correlation. And we know how negative correlations work. As X, the hours of homework increase, your Y will decrease. Right? Negative correlation always means as X gets bigger, Y gets smaller. As we take a look at number 12, we're looking at data that is comparing hot dog sales at Portillo's to the number of chopped salad sold at Portillo's. And R is 0.3. Now, 0.3 is about right here between the 0 and the 0.5. That's weak. That's weak correlation. It's positive. It is positive. Anytime R is positive, we have positive correlation. That means as X increases, Y increases also. So as the number of hot dog sales increase, the number of chopped salad sales increase also. All right, taking a look at our last page. Data set A has a correlation coefficient of 0.92. Wow, that's very strong. Set B is 0.46. That's actually weak. But compare and contrast these values. Both set A and set B have positive correlation. They're both positive numbers. What that means is as X increases, Y increases. And of course, whatever we're measuring, we'd use those words. But here's where they're different. Set A is very strong, while set B is weak. So that's how they're very different. Finally, as we're looking at this, it says match each of the following scatter plots with the most appropriate correlation coefficient. Write the letter in the provided blank. So I am drawn to number 16 first. You can see right here, this is very clearly negative correlation, but it's a perfect line. It's a perfect line, and that means you're going to need A. Your A is, the -1. It's a perfect fit. Where else do we have something negative? Well, that's actually number 15. The only other choice, and it's pretty good, it's looking pretty much like a line, this is going to have to be -0.85. We wouldn't say it's very strong, we'd say it's moderately strong. And now what? Now that we've gotten rid of A and B, now we're going to look at these two, the C and the D. Obviously, D is very strong, so you would expect to see something very close to looking like a line. 17 is a much better picture that looks closer to a line. By way of comparison, 0.62 right here, this is almost getting to the point where we're weak. It's moderately strong, but we're getting way, way closer to being at that midway point. So we still see positive correlation, but it's nowhere near the shape of a line that we have elsewhere. So guys, that was page 5 and page 6 for our last proficiency. Definitely come in if you need some extra help.